Have you ever trusted someone only to regret it later? Imagine this. You reach out a helping hand, believing you're making someone's day a little brighter, only to find your trust shattered in the end. That's exactly what happened to me. I thought kindness was always the answer, that if you gave people your trust, they'd give you their best in return. But one day, a simple act of generosity turned my world upside down. I was left staring at the pieces of my own good intentions, wondering if I'd been foolish all along. Was kindness really worth it? Or was I just setting myself up to be hurt? If you've ever questioned whether your heart is too open, this story is for you. Because sometimes being kind isn't enough, you have to be wise, too. My name is Arjun, and if there's one thing people always said about me, it was that I had a heart of gold. I was the kind of student who'd share my notes with anyone who asked, who'd stay late to help classmates struggling with assignments, who believed that a little kindness could change someone's day. Teachers praised my helpfulness, friends relied on my support, and even strangers seemed to sense I was someone they could trust. But while I saw the world through hopeful eyes, I didn't realize not everyone shared my outlook. I believed that if you gave people your trust, they'd never take advantage of it. I was so focused on doing good that I never stopped to wonder if I was leaving myself open to being hurt. It was during the first week of the new semester that I met Ria. She was the new student in our class, quiet and a little lost, her eyes scanning the room for a friendly face. I remembered how overwhelming it felt to be new, so I offered her a seat beside me and struck up a conversation. She smiled, grateful, and soon we were talking about everything from favorite books to the best places to eat near campus. Ria seemed genuinely appreciative of my help, and I was happy to show her around, introduce her to my friends, and help her catch up on missed lessons. Our bond grew quickly, built on laughter, shared secrets, and late-night study sessions. I felt proud to be someone she could rely on, believing that my kindness was making a real difference in her life. Little did I know, trust can be a double-edged sword. At first, everything seemed perfect, but soon, little things started to feel off. Ria would sometimes cancel plans at the last minute, offering vague excuses that didn't quite add up. Once, she borrowed my notes and returned them days late, claiming she'd forgotten. Another time, she promised to help with a group project but never showed up, leaving me to finish it alone. Each time, I brushed off the uneasy feeling in my gut. I told myself everyone makes mistakes, that maybe she was just adjusting to a new environment. My trust in her was stronger than my doubts, and I wanted to believe in the best version of her. Looking back, I realize I ignored the red flags because I didn't want to see them. I wonder how many of us have done the same, hoping our kindness will be enough to change someone. It happened on the day of our final group presentation, the one assignment that would decide our grades for the semester. Ria had assured me she'd handle the research, and I trusted her completely. The night before, she messaged saying everything was ready. But when I arrived at class, she was nowhere to be found. My calls went unanswered, my messages left unread. I scrambled to pull together what I could, but it was too late. Our group faltered, and the presentation fell apart. Later, I learned from another classmate that Ria had submitted a separate project using my notes and ideas, claiming them as her own. The shock hit me like a punch to the gut. I felt exposed, foolish, and utterly alone. The whispers in the hallway, the disappointed look from my teacher, the sense of betrayal from someone I'd called a friend, it all crashed down at once. I replayed every moment, every ignored warning sign, and wondered how I could have been so blind. In that moment, my faith in kindness felt shattered, replaced by a hollow ache I couldn't shake. In the days that followed, I couldn't escape the storm of thoughts swirling in my mind. I replayed every decision, every moment I'd chosen to trust, and wondered if I was to blame for what happened. Was I too naive? Too eager to help? I started to question everything I believed about kindness. Maybe the world wasn't as good as I thought. Maybe being open-hearted only made you a target. The pain of betrayal lingered, but what hurt most was the doubt creeping into my heart. I wanted to keep believing in the power of kindness, but now, every act of generosity felt risky. I wondered if I'd ever be able to trust again, or if I'd lost something more than just a friend. One afternoon, as I sat alone in the library, my teacher, Mrs. Kapoor, noticed my silence and sat beside me. She listened patiently as I poured out my story, my doubts, and my pain. When I finished, she smiled gently and said, "Arjun, kindness is a gift, but it's not meant to be given blindly. Most people never learn this until it's too late." She explained that trust is precious, and while it's good to help others, it's just as important to set boundaries and pay attention to actions, not just words. Being kind doesn't mean ignoring red flags, she said. It means caring for others while also protecting yourself. Her words struck a chord deep within me. For the first time, I realized I could still be the person I wanted to be, generous and compassionate without letting myself be taken advantage of. Mrs. Kapoor's wisdom became a turning point, showing me that true kindness includes the courage to say no when needed. Armed with Mrs. Kapoor's advice, I began to see the world differently. I still offered help to classmates, but I paid closer attention to their actions and respected my own limits. When someone asked for my notes, I set clear expectations and made sure responsibilities were shared. I learned to say no when something didn't feel right, trusting my instincts instead of ignoring them. Slowly, I found myself surrounded by people who valued honesty and mutual respect. New friendships blossomed, ones built on trust, not just convenience. I realized that kindness didn't mean letting others walk over me. It meant caring for others while also caring for myself. The pain of betrayal faded, replaced by a quiet confidence. I was no longer naive, but I hadn't lost my heart. Instead, I'd gained something even more valuable: the wisdom to be kind, not blind, and the strength to choose my friends wisely. If there's one lesson I hope you take from my story, it's this: kindness is powerful, but it needs the guidance of wisdom. True kindness isn't about ignoring warning signs or sacrificing your well-being. It's about helping others while protecting your own heart. Be generous, but don't be afraid to set boundaries. Remember, you can be kind without being blind. Let your compassion shine, but let your discernment guide you. Now, I invite you to look at your own life. Are there places where you've given trust too freely, or moments when you wished you'd set better boundaries? Share your experiences in the comments. Your story could help someone else. Don't let another day go by without learning this lesson. Choose to practice wise kindness, starting today. Together, let's build a community where compassion and discernment go hand in hand. Your journey to stronger, wiser kindness begins now.